Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed, plus free home delivery with any base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
In California, a Barnes & Noble bookstore becomes the hangout of choice for a man with a strange kink. In Louisiana, the subject of the death penalty is all anyone is talking about due to the upcoming Clemency hearing for death row inmates. And in Florida, a woman is arrested after spiking a weekend hookups drink with roach spray. These stories and more coming at you today, Wednesday, August 23rd on Real Life Real Crime Daily, and I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino. We've got some interesting teases there, Jim. Some fun stuff coming today.
Mike is officially off of suspension. The three of his fans that are so worried about him, it's okay.
We know better, don't we, guys?
and Bayou_Brandon says she's actually Team Aggo.
Wow.
She said if you get suspended.
She's a special person.
We didn't corrupt her
enough.
enough.
Suspended again, she'll be happy to come back, and she was happy to do it. And we're going to do some good stuff with her in the future.
Yeah, she's terrific. I think she's just doing that to try to egg me on so that I do get suspended again. And
she actually felt bad for you when the phone call came in.
I think she legitimately did.
She was like, I don't know, part of the drama.
So it's August 23rd. And on August 23rd, 1936, wow. Yolanda Agovino, known as Yoli Agovino,
there you go.
was
Miss
born.
Yoli.
So as my friends at Rosetta Stone would have me say, buon compleanno, Yoli. Happy birthday, Yoli. Love you, Mom. See you soon. Do you guys know what Buc-ee's is?
Yes, Buc-ee's is
of course.
Shit. Hey,
are there Buc-ee's in Louisiana?
No. They were supposed to bring one here, and then politics screwed it up. But I have been to a lot of different Buc-ee's, and let me tell you something. Not only is the food and everything fire, but if you're on the road and you got to go to the bathroom, it's the cleanest bathrooms in the world. I'm telling you. Yeah, I mean, it's like you go to that bathroom, you don't even want to leave.
I documented my visit to Buc-ee's bathroom for you guys. We'll post this, but this has got to be the first of all. I had never seen one of these places before.
Right. It's like a Walmart or gas station.
I'm sitting there as I look at it thinking, I wonder how the first one of these got off the ground. Like, who presents the business plan that says, okay, I'm going to have 100 different places to fuel your car.
Right.
I'm going to have everything from beef jerky to saltwater taffy to
clothes,
ice cream
ice chests, to barbecue pits, whatever.
Clothes.
That
everything.
structure has to be
in their own brand of candies.
I don't know, 10,000 square foot. I don't know how many urinals were in this bathroom, but
but look at how many people are there at any given time.
Yeah,
I mean you
got to try the beaver nuts.
These guys, since part of my assignment over suspension was to drive our primary coverage area looking for business partner ideas. These guys should be sponsors of our show. They're in our primary area, and
they're all the way into Florida now.
Alabama,
by Gulf Shores.
Yep.
On the way to Dallas, I used to stop at that one all the time. Outside of Houston, yeah.
Okay, well, Buc-ee's, if the Buc-ee's marketing director is listening right now, you've got 48 hours to call. Otherwise, I'm going to share on the air what happened to me in that bathroom. And you don't want that.
There's no glory holes in those bathrooms. They got cement walls in between the stalls. Yeah. You had to have a jackhammer.
I mean, I literally have my choice of 55 places to pee. I don't know why I wanted to share that. Buc-ee's.
Great,
never
great
seen
place.
Buc-ee's.
Brisket and just everything.
I had the
meats,
brisket, as a matter of fact.
Outstanding.
And I brought home the taffy and the banana nut bread.
Hey, Buc-ee's, it means bust out another 100 because you're going to spend $100.
Yeah,
That's right.
Well, let's get into some crime time. And we're going to bring you to Florida first. And a Florida woman has spiked a man's drink with Raid roach spray after the pair met at a local bar over the weekend.
That tastes good.
Yeah. Veronica Klein, 29, is charged with poisoning food or drink. Deputies were called to the home around 4:30 a.m. where they met the man who had become ill. He said he came home with Klein after she asked him to continue drinking with her. He said he had 2 drinks and began feeling sick. He said he had 2 drinks and began feeling ill. Klein allegedly admitted to him to spiking the 2 drinks with roach spray. The victim told deputies he was vomiting for about 30 minutes before he was able to call for help. He became sick again while providing his statement to a deputy. I bet he did. Klein wasn't home when deputies arrived. A law enforcement canine tracked her down and she was taken into custody. She is being held in jail without bond pending her first court appearance, and she did not provide a motive for the alleged poisoning.
No motive. Just to see.
I say the motive is cray.
I mean, what the hell was she doing, man?
I've never heard anybody use roach spray. Yeah.
It's like this guy pissed her off, and she was just placating him till she could get roach spray down his mouth.
I don't understand it.
Some bizarre shit going on in Florida.
Takes all kinds to make the world go. That wasn't Pinellas County, was it?
It could have been.
No, they don't do stuff like that in Pinellas.
Well, let me take it to Nevada for another really bizarre story. A 45-year-old woman was arrested on suspicion of murder after the victim's mother discovered him decapitated inside his bedroom last week. Officers in the fire department responded to a home after receiving a call about a dead person inside. When they arrived, they found a male victim deceased. Police said the man's death was the result of a homicide. Henderson police identified the victim's girlfriend, Devin Michaels, as the suspect and arrested her on a charge of open murder. The victim has been identified as 46-year-old Jonathan James Willett. Willett and Michaels were in a relationship, but Michaels is also married to Willett's son.
The plot thickens.
Willett and the son wed to help each other out, quotations. Willett's son reportedly told investigators their marriage is not a typical marriage, and they got married so he could help Devin with her medical issues. On the morning in question, this one really gets weird, y'all. On the morning in question, Willett's mother went into his room and found her son wrapped up in blankets and bloody. Willett's head had been severed from his body and was not observed to be in the room. Investigators noticed a chemical odor coming from his room, most likely from bleach or ammonia. The chemicals were put on Willett's body, which resulted in smoke emanating from it.
Oh, God.
Right? Get the fuck out. Investigators discovered several of Willett's personal items, such as his wallet and phone with blood on them. Willett and Michael were reportedly in the process of moving in together because they have 2 daughters. Michaels reportedly told police Willett was abusive and made a child take showers in front of him. The night of his death, Willett tried to get her to conduct tried to get her to conduct a sexual act on him, but she refused and hit him on the head with a wooden stick. Michael stated she did not want to kill Jonathan and only want to hurt him enough that he would have to go to the hospital because she wanted him out of the way so she could figure out what to do with her children. She has no bail.
I would say that she did more than made sure he just couldn't go to the hospital.
Right? I mean,
cutting his damn head off.
Cut your head off.
I mean, we're not making fun of that.
You don't cut the head off.
Come on. I didn't really want to hurt him.
With a wooden stick.
Yeah.
And poured chemicals in the body and was smoking.
Damn.
Wow.
People are just cutting body parts off like
every day.
Like it ain't shit these days.
We are off to a flying start.
There we go. Real life, real crime.
It is. It is. Well, I wanted to take a couple of minutes and rather than deliver a first story to you all this morning, I wanted to deliver somewhat of a apology, confession, and maybe some thank yous, and talk about some things moving forward. So for those of you out there who've ever lost a job or been suspended on the job, anything like that, like I was last week, you know how much it can get inside your head and impact your confidence and your overall mental health. And that is not that's just the fact. And I was feeling pretty low going into Friday, and I really just wanted an opportunity to explain myself to you guys. And so, I drove all the way up here to the studio thinking that I wasn't trying to get on the show. I wasn't trying to have Bayou Brandy pulled off or anything. I just wanted to have a conversation. And so I came and I thought politely knocked on the door and requested permission to come in and explain myself. And as you all know, I was not afforded that opportunity, and that's okay.
It was denied.
That's okay, because I was unable to explain what happened on the show. I turned to social media to try and clarify some things, and I did this because I think it's our responsibility to be honest and bring you guys on the inside of what's happening on the show. You're the most important element of the show, and we always will appreciate and respect that. And so I didn't know how Real Life Real Crime Daily Nation would react to the story, but I wanted to make sure you heard it. Your reaction was amazing and way beyond anything I had expected. So many of you commented with words of encouragement and support that it would be impossible to thank everyone here. But since I'm a big believer in the impossible, I'm going to give it a try.
Oh, my God.
So I want to say thank you to Amber Sibley McLynn, Patricia Lynn Doyle, Vicki Thomas Hammond, Jacqueline Wade, Krause Borden III, Dawn Clark, Kim Higdon, Kelly Martin, Susan Thomas Bro, Galia Holden, Brian Moore, Kathy Hitz Hanna, Monica Covington, Chrissy Branham Parenti, Amy Walters Fry, Leslie Snyder, Mike Broad, Jeremy Biner, Taylor Hutchinson, Laura Webster, Daryl Barricklow, Margie Meinke Akers, Leah Marie, Miranda Colligan, Allison Marie, Sarah Chrisman, Susan O'Brien, Monica Lara, Lexi Pinniger, Teresa Pulley Roberts, Maria Weeks Bertholo, Chelsea Connors, Lori Wise. I apologize if I screwed up.
So you screwed about half of it.
Stephanie Broad Ori, Ruthie Cox Dorr, Kimberly Smothers Moore, Christy Taylor, Jenny Wyatt, Jessica Tinsley, Carrie Ann Marie, Sharon Fay, Christina Daka Knight, Jennifer Jerem Lamley, Kristen Kenyon, Sherry Lopez Spell, John Greenwood, Emily Ryan Diesel, Deborah Zimmerman, Cecilia Trapani, Schutenbach, Sarah Little, and Amy Behan, Populist.
Did you say Jenny White?
I did.
Yeah.
Jenny White
my OG lifer. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Leah Marie. That's our girl.
It's not to say them supporting me means they're not supporting you guys or the show overall. I just appreciated the words of support that came from them. But I want to add my deepest appreciation to 10 fans among this group that have gone way above and beyond to express their support. And what I feel a lot for these people. And so these 10 people today are invited to become part of a newly formed group that will, from now on, be known as the Aglets. And the Aglets isn't a group that just supports Ago. It's a group that leads and lives in their communities and in their lives by the 7 virtues of an Aglet.
Oh, my God.
And the 7 virtues of an Aglet are faith, unselfishness, courage, kindness, judiciousness, intelligence, and morality. And if you're looking for an easy way to remember the Aglet virtues, you can simply remember the acronym, which is F for faith, U for unselfishness, C for courage, K for kindness, J for judiciousness, I for intelligence, and M for morality, or altogether FUCKJIN would be the acronym. So the inaugural Aglet nominees are Miranda Colligan, Ruthie Cox-Dorr, Kim Higdon, Monica Lara, Allison Marie, Leah Marie, Cecilia Trapani Schutenbach, Christy Taylor, Lori Wise, and Jenny Wyatt. I would like to ask each Aglet nominee, as they're listening to the show today, to stand, place their right hand over their hearts, and repeat after me the Aglet Creed.
Oh, my God.
I state your name.
State your name.
Do solemnly swear to protect and defend the free speech rights of Ago on The Daily Show, and to support the coverage of all forms of crime, including athletic, societal, political, and royal, against the fascist authoritarians who would censor them. Thank you.
Okay, so
I'm wrapping up. I'm to be done in 1 minute.
we have a board meeting, Jim.
Congratulations.
His ass getting suspended.
Congratulations. You are now officially Aglets. I'd love to receive confirmation from each of you once you've recited the creed. Lastly, these past few days, I've encountered a number of people who, for whatever reason, are not fans of mine. This is as it should be in a free country, and those people are encouraged to continue to challenge and criticize the things I say and I do. There are a few of them who are particularly persistent at it, and I wanted to recognize them as a group as well. Given that we have the Aglets group, I'm calling this group the Piglets. And the Piglets include Megan Haley, Kirk Jones, Morris Mashon, Bonnie Giroux Pittman, and Michael Stillwell. You are the Piglets. If you want to have a creed, you're going to have to make it up yourself.
Well, we can't call our fans piglets.
Well, piglets are cute. Aglets, piglets, Aglets, and piglets. Come on. So, again, it's a difficult thing to go through, and y'all make me better, and I appreciate the support as well as the criticism.
Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement, it's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Hey, y'all. Changing my wardrobe from summer to fall, it's never easy. Luckily, Quince offers timeless and high-quality items I adore, ensure my wardrobe stays fresh and I don't blow my budget. And there's nothing easier than going to Quince and choosing these high-quality items, like cashmere sweaters from $50, pants for every occasion, washable silk tops, and so much more. The best part? All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, and I love that. I got the stainless steel Link Apple Watch band for $59.90. It's heavy duty, it's awesome, and it's like $100 less than I could find anywhere else. And I also got a 100% organic cotton fisherman quarter zip up sweater. The color is alabaster. Man, I can't wait to wear that this fall. And Cindy got the Mongolian cashmere boat neck sweater in heather gray. And I'm telling you, these are classic pieces at a fraction of the price. Make switching seasons a breeze with Quince's high-quality closet essentials. Go to quince.com/RLRC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/RLRC to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/RLRC. You'll thank me later. Okay. Now, that was totally unsanctioned, and I had no idea, nor did Jim. And you must have liked being suspended.
I didn't like being suspended. You know I didn't like being suspended. But I think it's perfectly reasonable to come back and acknowledge those people who were supportive during the suspension.
I'm at a loss for words.
All right, so if you've been hitting that 15-second fast forward button for the last 15 minutes, you can stop now. We'll get back to talking about crime. British nurse is convicted of killing 7 newborns. This was on Friday.
Out the box.
Absolutely crazy. And the attempted murder of 6 others. Now, y'all got to hear this. The nurse, Lucy Letby, 33, was accused of killing 7 babies and trying to kill 10 others while working at the Countess of Chester Hospital in the city of Chester in northwest England between June of 2015 and June of 2016. Letby had intended to kill the babies while blaming natural causes for their conditions. An unexpectedly high number of deaths in the neonatal unit of the Countess of Chester Hospital led to an investigation in 2016 after doctors struggled to find a medical explanation. Letby was arrested in 2018 and again in 2019 in relation to the investigation, but not charged. She was ultimately arrested and charged in 2020 after a criminal investigation by the police that focused on the deaths of 17 babies from March of 2015 to July of 2016. Letby murdered her victims by injecting air and insulin into their bloodstreams, infusing air into the gastrointestinal tracts, and force-feeding them milk or fluids. Some victims showed signs of impact-type trauma. The police also collected Miss Letby's handwritten notes and diary entries, which contained damning confessions. One read, "I killed them on purpose because I'm not good enough to care for them." Letby had been remanded into custody since November of 2020 and spent time at 4 different prisons. At 10 months, the Lewis Letby trial is thought to be Britain's longest ever murder case. She was found not guilty on 2 attempted murder charges, and there was a hung jury on 6 counts. One of the most prolific cases of serial killings ever in Great Britain, and just an absolutely disgusting human being.
Yeah.
Lucy Letby is.
Absolutely straight ticket to hell. Do they still have the guillotine?
If they did, she would be great. A great
I thought
person
or
to
hanging or something.
take advantage of it.
I thought
They may. So I've been looking at this story for months. As you know, I'm the exclusive correspondent in this geography, and therefore I have been planning how to summarize everything that has gone on for you guys, and
we just did it.
Nice for Jim to cross geographical borders, and we will have that discussion.
We are wide open.
She is a shitty human.
Yes, she is.
And incidentally, y'all, they have text messages online that you can look up of her texting people after each and every one of these children were killed, these babies. And they're just, she's acting like, oh, I lost another one. Yeah, it's so disgusting.
Munchausen syndrome, right? I don't know. I just don't know. Ashley Arbor, 43, was arrested Friday after authorities said he wrongly entered a Superstar's Big Apple digs, and he was charged with 2 counts of trespassing. Anybody guess as to who Superstar is? Probably y'all already know. Taylor Swift, y'all. So a smiling Arbor was giddy when he met with the press following his arrest. He says, I was disappointed. And he said of not finding Swift. I love her. I want to marry her. I want her to be my anchor, someone that will have me stay put. I've never had someone that kept me grounded. Imagine that. It's the latest in a string of bizarre incidents with obsessed fans, kind of like Mike's Agalettes, that Swift has endured. Arbor, who grew up in Michigan, claims he took a Greyhound bus from Atlanta to see the anti-hero singer and proclaimed his love for her, bizarrely boasting that he had a prior relationship with the superstar. Yeah, right. An eagle-eyed resident prevented the creepy incident from escalating. Arbor allegedly rang the bell until someone opened the door. He managed to navigate a long hallway and 2 doors beside the elevator, and he went into one when a woman inside asked what he was doing there. When the topic of Swift came up, the savvy resident instructed Arbor to go outside, ring the bell, and wait for someone to let him in. When Arbor followed those instructions, the NYPD was waiting for him. Arbor was released, and he's due back in court in October. Asked why he wanted to be with Swift, Arbor gushed, because she's like the most nurturing, like she is me, except she is a woman. She is truly the only one that understands me. The Swift fanatic continued, I know she knows I don't mean any harm. I'd never hit a woman. I would not harm her. No, absolutely not. Arbor lamented that he has not seen Swift in concert. I'm sure he can't afford the tickets. He says, I have not been that lucky, he said, adding, I'm of sound mind. I was a little crazier when I was younger. He said he has no plans to return to Swift's residence. He said, no, they told me to stay away from her place. The homeless man said he would probably stay in the area and rummage through the garbage for food.
Oh, wait, what? Yeah. Okay, so all of that, and then we just find out that he's homeless?
Yeah. Right.
And so he's going to stay in the area and rummage for
food. And maybe
or you can pick up something nice to bring.
Something that she threw out, right? Right. Arbor added, I'm very determined fellow sometimes to my detriment. You got to go for it when it comes to love because I don't want to live in regret. His parting words, I love you, Taylor. I want to spend the rest of my life making you happy.
Aw.
Takes all kinds to make the world go
Well, you know what I think would be great for her image? Is if, because she's
take him out on a date. She go to prom with him.
She's not attached, right? I don't think.
I have no idea.
I don't think she has a steady beau or girl or any. I don't know what which side of the plate she hits from, but it would be great for her image to date this guy, to take this guy out on a date, treat him with respect.
Absolutely.
She does kind of crazy
and get
stuff,
murdered and everything else.
This guy doesn't sound that dangerous, but I mean, I guess that could change. And that's a good segue because this one might not sound that dangerous, but who knows where it could go from where he is. Khalees Crowder is his name. He's been arrested more than 40 times since 2005. Nice. 40. Dozens of these crimes were sex-related. On August 8th, Crowder was videoed on cell phone video inside of a Burbank, California Barnes & Noble doing something very strange. I'd never seen this before. He would follow women, particularly attractive women, around the bookstore. And he would either drop something on the floor behind them so that he had to go to the ground.
Oh, he's upskirt.
Okay. Or he would pretend that he was looking at something on a lower bookshelf.
Upskirt.
So he could get right behind them and take in a good, hard inhale of their butts.
Oh, God.
So this guy has been labeled the Barnes & Noble sniffer.
Oh, my God.
Okay. And there's a link that we'll share to a TikTok where one of the women caught him and followed him and she confronted him directly. I mean, he went to the ground right behind her and clear as hell sniffs her ass. And she turns around and asks him what he's doing. And he denies doing anything like that. In a second, he walks away from her. He goes across to another aisle of books and gets right behind a blonde woman who's over there. He ends up getting arrested 2 days later, but not even for that, for some other charge. Of course, it's California. Right. He's out the very next day. Yeah. This pretty brave lady who, give you her name in a second. It's Michaela Witter is her name. She took the viral video inside of Barnes & Noble. She posted it on TikTok, and then about 20 other women came into the TikTok, which went viral, saying that they had run into this guy. He had done the same thing to them, either at that Barnes & Noble or somewhere else. And so he's arrested again. Here's a picture of Khalees Crowder.
Nice.
Very nice looking gentleman with a powerful nose. And
I hear he has a problem.
Yeah, right.
He has a little bit of a problem.
He's arrested 40 times. He probably did it 4,000 times.
He was released earlier this year, partway through a 1-year jail sentence for indecent exposure in Santa Clarita. So why they released him, don't know.
It may have something to do with his hearing.
This has been happening for over 13 years, so they either need to get him serious help by keeping him in a facility that will do that, or keeping him in jail where he can't harm anyone else, this Witter woman said. Another TikTok user posted a video in which she turned around and confronted the man identified as Crowder. She found crouched behind her at that same Barnes & Noble. She recorded that back in
Barnes
March.
& Noble needs to ban him.
Yeah, they need a security sniffer or something.
And we'll post a picture of this gentleman on Facebook, and you'll see why I'm making the hearing references.
Right.
This guy, believe it or not, has to this moment not been charged for any of these bookstore incidents.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying to think of what the charge would be if he didn't touch them. I mean, Free Air Act.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
There's got to be something.
Smelling.
Yeah, you got. Well, maybe
It's harassment of
disturbing their peace or something. Yeah, I mean, you can just sniff my butt.
I mean, I'm surprised one of those women didn't decide to just unload on him. Yeah. That might have taught him a little lesson there. But anyway, we'll
because he wasn't scratching and sniffing; he was just sniffing.
All right, so not everybody that listens to Real Life Real Crime listens to Bloody Angola podcast,
right?
But there is a major. It's probably the second most talked about story outside of the heat here in Louisiana right now, and that is a clemency debate. Nearly every death row prisoner in the state of Louisiana, the governor has pressured the Louisiana Parole Board into hearing those cases for clemency. And if you want the skinny on that, go to Bloody Angola podcast and just listen to the Louisiana clemency debacle. We recorded another episode today on that, and a bonus episode for our Patreon members. But It's just absolutely insane what's going on right now with this. Essentially, we're bringing you the latest information on the current news regarding nearly all of the Louisiana death row inmates. There's 56 in total being granted clemency hearings by the Louisiana Board of Pardon and Paroles. The boards agreed to hear the request of the 56 inmates through pressure from the Louisiana governor, John Bel Edwards, who has been an active voice against the use of the death penalty in Louisiana. John Bel Edwards, who leaves office on January 8th of 2024, issued a pressure-filled letter to the Pardon Board recently after they declined to allow the clemency hearings in response to an opinion the board sought from current Attorney General for the state of Louisiana, Jeff Landry. Landry, who is currently the leading candidate for governor for the state of Louisiana, cited a statute which requires a request for clemency hearing within 1 year of an inmate's final appeal, and none of the 56 death row inmates who requested a hearing did so within that time frame. That prompted the current governor to pressure the board to waive the required time frame. In his letter to the board, John Bel Edwards said the terminology was not clear and used two words in particular that needed to be considered in the ruling. The board has now decided to move on with allowing the hearings, which are slated to start October 13th of 2023. And we cover all of that.
Yeah, and y'all know we don't do politics, but these are 56 of the most heinous crimes and found guilty, not only guilty for the crime, they've
exhausted all their appeals.
Well, the second trial is the death penalty part, and they were found, guilty again, or such egregious crimes that they had to be sentenced, that they sentenced them to the death penalty. And the one from Livingston Parish, his co-partner, I did a episode on him. His co-partner was on death row, and he ended up dying. But that guy's been on death row for 48 years, something like that, and he's the longest one, and that's because ever since John Bel Edwards has been in office, and we don't do politics. I know John Bel Edwards. I know his brother, the sheriff of Tangipahoa Parish, Daniel, he fought the attorney general all these years, the 8 years he's been in office, and nobody's been executed allegedly over the attainment of the medications, et cetera, to put them to death. But he did it, and then finally now that it's his last hour as governor, he came out in an open letter and said, the death penalty is wrong. I want to abolish it. And all of a sudden, magically, 56 inmates who don't have contact with one another. They're not sitting across cell to cell. They're all on a row. I mean, they may share a wall with two other people, but all 56 of them get to file clemency appeals on the same day. That's bullshit. And I would submit to you that these family members, a lot of them probably are dead now, but all these victims had family members and loved ones, and we've already spent all these millions and millions of dollars on the appeals process and everything else for these convictions to be upheld, and it's the law. And if you're against it, well, the crimes weren't committed against your family members.
Agreed.
Well, thank you for the first non-political report.
Yeah, but you know what? That one is a straight up crime report. It involves it's just the most serious thing ever. These murders and rapes of babies and old people and serial killers and everything else. Life used to mean life in Louisiana. It doesn't anymore. That's the problem with it. They're sentenced to death row to die, rightfully so, and then now if they commute their sentences to life, I just had two cases recently of people I got convictions on who were sentenced to life without parole, and they got clemency hearings because of this governor. They got clemency hearings, and guess what? 2 months later, they were paroled. So once you get a clemency hearing, you're automatically eligible for a parole hearing.
So the governor of the state has the unilateral right to declare a hearing?
No.
He has to ask for it. It's illegal.
Requested
the Attorney General's already said it's illegal because it's not following the time frame. But here's the deal: the Pardon and Parole Board is appointed by him. That's his people, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I'll never get it because I'm coming from the side where I've seen these dead babies and raped and brutally murdered old ladies and mass killings and shit like that. These people, I mean, the law is a law, and the governor should be able to break the law.
Well, and from what you're saying, if the hearings happen, then the clemency is going to happen.
Oh, because the hearings are going to happen.
The hearings are happening. Even though the Attorney General said they're illegal, the governor came back out and pressured the board into doing it. So they're happening. They're starting what day?
October 13th.
And is when they're starting the first 20. And it's just, I mean, they're putting these monsters ahead of people.
440 other
people that have a right to a clemency hearing in the law process. And he's jamming it down the throat because he's going out on January 6th or whatever. He's termed out January 8th. And guess what happens? The new governor gets to appoint the new board if they choose to. And I used to do their backgrounds.
No, it's
not the board people's
presidential
fault.
Pardons in the last 24 hours.
It's not the board people's fault. But
the state has paid millions and millions of dollars
per case.
For
and whatever parish they were convicted in has paid all these. And now they're paying again. Because the DA's Association has come out against it, the Fraternal Order of Police, the Sheriff's Association, everybody's coming out all up in arms about it. And what about the victims' families that have to live this shit again? But anyway, I'm getting off of it. Y'all, let me take you to Kentucky for another sick bastard. A former Kentucky prosecutor was indicted for allegedly trading court favors in exchange for an unnamed defendant's nude images. Federal prosecutors said Friday in a matter that led to his impeachment by state lawmakers. Ronnie Goldie Jr. was indicted on bribery and wire fraud charges. The charges alleged that Goldie solicited and accepted sexual favors and the explicit images from the criminal defendant. In return, Goldie made decisions in cases that benefited the defendant and pressured other officials to do the same. At the time, Goldie was the Commonwealth's attorney for Bath, Menifee, Montgomery, and Rowan counties in northeastern Kentucky. The FBI arrested him Friday in Moorhead, about 65 miles from Lexington. The indictment listed examples of actions that Goldie allegedly agreed to perform for the defendant, who had been charged with multiple crimes in Goldie's jurisdiction but wasn't identified in the federal indictment. He sought her release from incarceration, asked for the withdrawal of arrest warrants, requested the postponement of a court hearing, and asked another prosecutor to sign an order directing the release of her impounded property. Right? A former boyfriend of the defendant took screenshots of Facebook messages between the two and provided them to a Louisville attorney. Goldie allegedly promised to help her with criminal cases in exchange for nude photos and videos of herself. Goldie, 51, was charged with 6 counts of honest services wire fraud, 6 counts of using interstate communication to commit bribery, and 2 counts of federal program bribery. And the indictment was unsealed on Friday. Earlier this year, the Kentucky State House voted to impeach Goldie, and he was convicted of the articles of impeachment by the Senate in his first impeachment trial in more than a century. And this action barred him from holding any future elected offices in the state. Back to your previous story on the clemency hearing, first time in the history of the United States this has ever happened.
Really?
For death row inmates, yeah. I'm talking about where the governor pushed through. I'm not talking about this.
No, that one was just the first time ever.
And this guy's just a douchebag.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens.
Yeah.
Why? How do they decide that her name gets to be that she deserves anonymity here? I mean,
I don't know. Maybe because really, I guess she should be a victim. She didn't send the photos and the videos. I mean, he was pressuring, saying, "I'll do all this for you if you give this to me." I'm sure she might have enticed him along on Facebook Messenger and said, "Okay," But I mean, whatever.
Well,
it's still coercion.
There are crimes on both sides. I mean,
Yeah,
she agreed to do that as a bribe in order to get
I don't know why
to get released.
but he's fucked. Let me tell you that.
Yes, he is.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glaze, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, and all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Well, this one's interesting. Did you know that there are over 250,000 Americans who identify as furries?
I've heard this term somewhere, but I don't remember what it is.
The furry fandom, which consists of people who express an interest in animals with human qualities, began in the 1980s. I had no idea. Members are spurred on by a love of anthropomorphic animals such as those seen in Disney movies and video games. The community has boomed since then, with interest from outsiders reaching new heights. This week, the community was thrust into a negative spotlight after a member attacked a man who was filming a group in Huntington Beach, California. After several furries have spoken out about the common misconceptions that engulf the fandom, particularly with regards to it being branded as a fetish or its members as criminals. The furries have been branded criminals because members of the fandom have been convicted in a number of high-profile murders from 2014 to 2022. This included a gruesome triple murder in Fullerton, California. In a recent documentary, members of the community laid bare their realities as they attempted to dismiss misconceptions about furries. One furry, who goes by Bandit, began by giving an insight into how he started out. My fursona is basically to memorialize my dog. He was bouncy and fun and loving, and I guess whenever I'm wearing Bandit, I'm a little him. I could say it is the opposite of my life because I'm a pretty laid-back guy out of the suit, but once I get in the suit, I get party fun. Addressing the idea that the community is spurred by fetishism, he said, it angers me when I find people that say, oh, all you do is dress up in those suits and party and carry on and have sex parties in those suits. If you've ever had vigorous sex naked, you know how much you sweat. Can you imagine doing that in a full fursuit? You would die. It can quickly get to over 100 degrees inside the head of the suit. So no, that's a false statement to even think it's just about sex, he said. There is sex that happens in the fandom, but the fursona fandom thing is about helping other people. Well, that was his claim. Attendance at Anthrocon, which is the largest furry convention in the U.S., hit a record high at 13,644 people earlier this year. The CEO of Anthrocon, a guy by the name of Samuel Conway, who is, of course, himself a furry, who goes by the name of Uncle Cage, had long tried to protect the reputation of the community's members and to separate the furries from reputational damage. The documentary shares snippets of him adamantly persuading other furries to proceed with caution when speaking to the media, telling them to deflect and not speak as individuals. For example, the furry known as Chew Fox and her mate, Tomcat, from just outside of Seattle, previously appeared on the Tyra Banks show to discuss their fursuit sex. Shortly afterwards, Conway himself branded Chew Fox as, quote, a little effing bitch. But there can be no doubt that there is a sexual element to the fandom. So anyway, look up furries. These suits cost anywhere between $3,000 and $7,000.
It's a lot of money.
I did a little bit of work trying to come up with, well, if the three of us were to become furries,
oh God,
what animal would we take on? And of course, for Woody, the wolf, I've got a wolf costume that I think is pretty cool. That we'll post these. Right. Jim, I thought it was going to be impossible to find, but it exists and it is awesome. There is an anaconda furry costume.
There you go.
That's a pretty. Almost got a smile out of Jim on the anaconda, and not quite. He hasn't broken one the entire show yet.
All I did to see that was looking on the floor, is hanging out his pants leg.
and that's I would have to do
the shark
to do the shark. Yeah.
I'm gonna think what yours would be, Mike.
No, I would do the shark. I would do. You can propose some kind of alternative, but I'm thinking the shark. So anyway, furries, don't trust them.
That's very unique, and they're murdering people too. You said so.
Yeah,
there's crime in there.
Yeah, I don't know if no, lots of crime. Yeah.
You can now take off that belt and move freely around the cabin.
All right, it's a Mile High Crime for Wednesday, and we're bringing you to United Airlines. And a pilot has been charged for carrying out an axe attack on a parking lot barrier.
I was going to say, you had an axe on the plane.
Do pilots carry axes on board with them? Oh, this is outside. Yeah, okay.
It might have been in his car because it was a parking lot barrier. Kenneth Henderson Jones caused around $700 in damage when he attacked a parking lot barrier at Denver International Airport. He used an axe to hit the parking lot arm 23 times before it knocked out of position. Dressed in his pilot uniform, Mr. Jones is then confronted by an airport staff member and eventually surrenders the axe when a second employee intervenes. The employee told the police he was able to retrieve the axe after fighting with Jones. The pilot was then taken into custody by Denver police after running into a nearby field. During the altercation, there were reportedly no physical injuries. Jones claimed he wanted to let drivers leave the parking lot due to the 6 vehicles blocking each other and blocking the 3 exit gates, saying he just hit his breaking point. Recently, people who didn't have the right permits had been parking in the airport parking lot, causing disruption, and deputies say Jones told them he was trying to get rid of issues for everyone waiting. Yeah. The 63-year-old pilot reportedly had no history of crime in the state of Colorado.
So it was must have been one of those arms that would let you out.
Yeah. And people parking where they're not permitted, and it just pissed this guy off. And if you've ever seen Michael Douglas and Falling Down,
right.
that's what that reminds me of.
Well, can't you see this guy? He's stuck in a big delay in the sky, and he's having to circle over LaGuardia for 2 hours, and then he just says, "I've had enough," and just beelines it for the runway. Yeah, that's probably not a guy who's
maybe it was a fire axe off the wall or something. I can't imagine that in a cement parking lot. The axe or
no, I mean it may have been in his car or something.
It must have been. Well, I mean, he's in Colorado. Maybe he's going to build a campfire.
You can now take off that belt.
Good one, Jimmy.
And move freely around the cabin.
What do you got? Another kinky crime?
What? I got kinky crime for Wednesday, and y'all, this is a good one. And you know we've had some good ones. So we're going to Florida, not Pinellas County, but probably not that far. And a couple was arrested in Cape Canaveral earlier this week after deputies said they openly engaged in oral sex in the parking lot of an apartment complex where multiple witnesses were able to see.
Hey.
Not that uncommon. Yeah. The plot thickens. Listen to this shit. Both were also charged with beating up a witness who asked them to stop. Deputies from the Brevard.
I don't blame them.
Right?
Well, the key word there was both.
Right. So deputies from the Brevard County Sheriff's Office were called to an apartment complex Monday after receiving several calls from people saying a topless woman, what's wrong with that, was engaging in oral sex with her partner only a few feet from the road. Nicole Vargas, 28, from New Jersey, was seen with Colton Vogel, a 23-year-old man from Washington. Nobody from Florida is from Florida. Both were arrested and charged with unnatural and lascivious acts in public, battery, and exposure of sexual organs. Both Vargas and Vogel began attacking a witness who asked them to move along. Right? Why you gotta bother?
Freaking Karen.
Right? Just stay out of the way.
Yeah.
Like hurry up and finish, or move along in a different sense?
I think they move along.
Tell them to stop.
Stop, right? But so what happened was when she asked them to move along, Nicole Vargas proceeded to rip the victim's shirt off by the neck, causing the buttons to rip out, punch him in the chest with a closed fist, and hit the victim on the back of the head. Vogel punched the witness in the head and jaw. When deputies initially confronted a topless Vargas, she's still topless after all this time, she took off. Deputy Matthew Oka ran and caught up with her. Vargas attempted to roll away from Oka during the arrest, and witnesses helped secure her to be handcuffed. Somebody touched.
We need that body cam.
Somebody touched those boobies. You can't handcuff someone and tackle them without topless without doing all that. So anyway, they were booked in the Brevard County Jail and got a $1,500 bond.
Dang. That is pretty
kinky.
They wanted to get on Kinky Crimes, and all it cost them was $1,500 to get there.
Right. And you don't do that instead of a video. Oh, here's some pictures. Gotta show that.
It sounded also like she might have done more of the damage in the fight.
Right.
And she threw the opening blows.
There you go. She was throwing an opening blow.
She was throwing the blows.
That's what caused the whole problem, the blow. Oh, criminals. Go ahead, buy you a score, Brandy. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Aga.
Good one.
Well, and I love me some banjos and fiddles. Right. But while I had a couple of days to reflect and think about things and listening to the show, I came up with a new segment that I want to try out just for today and tomorrow and get some input from everybody and see if they like it.
I swear, Mike.
They'll never give me time off again.
Just like earlier, yeah, right. He was punishing us for it. Earlier with all that stuff, totally unsanctioned, as he would say. Totally, Jim and I did not know, and we totally do not know what's about to come out of his mouth. But I can promise you, it'll be entertaining. People are going to wonder or think that you have no life outside of real life, real crime.
That came up often in the comments. I actually got a lot of life advice in the comments, but I'm calling this Poetic Justice.
Okay.
So the idea is to take a story and deliver the story as a poem.
All right.
Okay, so you guys love, I know it's your favorite story, the Shiver family story of the mother from Georgia who goes to the Bahamas and hooks up with the guy.
That you've told about 14,000
Yeah, I've had 17 stories on it thus far. I continue to
You didn't see the thing about the husband not letting her use the private jet to go be with him, huh?
I did see that story.
I figured you did. I was just testing you.
So here is the first segment of Poetic Justice. The granddaddy is rich, but the cheerleader mom is a bitch. She was horny and tired of cooking pasta, so she flew to the Bahamas and hooked up with a Rasta. She was in Abaco smoking some fine root, hatching a plan to inherit her husband's loot. When she finished giving Rasta some head, they hired a goon to make her hubby dead.
Oh, my God.
But the cops found his phone and foiled the kill, so Lindsay went to jail but couldn't afford the bill. Rasta said he loves her and used all the right jargon, at least until he was offered a sweet plea bargain. For now, Lindsay's in Nassau trying to make some noise, while back in Georgia, she's lost all of her boys. This story needs a moral, so I guess I ought try. Marriage is seldom perfect, and there are many reasons why. You search forever, hoping to find the right spouse. Just don't fuck it up when he puts you in a $5 million house. Give me some banjos.
I have no words. Oh, fucking original. Aga's original if it's nothing else. You missed your column, bro. You should have been your poet and didn't know it.
All right. I also have a new segment.
Uh-oh.
And it's not a freaking poem.
It's a limerick.
It's not a limerick.
There once was a man from Nantucket.
Yeah. So we're gonna feature super cops every now and then on this show, and I decided to do a super cop segment today as the final.
Not sanctioned by any board I'm aware of. No.
What's that? I mean,
that was not.
I don't think we have a problem with super cops.
No.
So we're going to talk about some hero cops from Queens, y'all, who cuffed an active shooter, saved a wounded man, and they told their story. These hero officers are from the 103rd Precinct, and they spoke about both cuffing an active shooter and saving the life of a gunshot victim in Queens. Risking their own lives, Queens cops cuffed that active shooter last Wednesday morning. Lieutenant John McGivney and 5 other officers rushed to the shooting site at 11:09 a.m. after several 911 calls reported a man had fired a gun, wounding another. As they were approaching, people on the street were pointing where the shots came from, and they were pointing out who the shooter was. John March was the 103rd Precinct SWAT team captain, and he spied the 44-year-old shooter, Gerald Boyce, placing the weapon in his waistband. Although March and the other cops had their guns drawn, they were able to swiftly approach him and bring him to the ground, where they were able to cuff him without firing a shot. It's a very crowded, chaotic scene, a lot of cars, a lot of people. Behind the perpetrator was a commercial storefront. The firearm control on display by these officers was fantastic. They were able to put this gentleman into custody, recover a loaded firearm with no injuries to anyone suffered by the hands of the police. This from McGivney. Several other officers arrived at the scene, where they began aiding the 55-year-old victim who had been shot twice by the assailant. We identified the victim, and he had multiple gunshot wounds. I noticed there were bleeds from his left arm to his shoulder area, and it was bleeding substantially. This from responding officer Robert Halleck. I took out a tourniquet and applied it to his arm, which slowed the bleeding. We took off his shirt and applied bandages to the actual wounds. The 103rd Precinct has specifically trained officers assigned to the area each day to combat retail theft, gang activity, and robbery patterns. Boyce is charged with attempted murder and criminal possession of a weapon, and it is unclear why the shots were fired, but those guys are indeed super cops.
Crew.
The whole crew, man. Shout out to those guys.
Shout out to them. Putting your life on the line.
Yes, absolutely.
It could have been a lot worse, right? I mean,
could have been.
It could have been innocent people killed.
Yeah, retail thing right behind him. You start shooting
cars driving by and everything else, and could have provoked him into shooting at them.
Yep,
great job.
All right,
heroes.
Any final thoughts?
Today was certainly interesting. I'm not sure I have the energy to have a board meeting.
Yes.
Well, we can't. It's the last week of the month. You can't have the board meeting.
Is that in the bylaws?
In the bylaws, yeah.
Okay. Damn it, I missed that one.
You and I can still have a board meeting.
You can. That wouldn't be a board meeting. It would be you two having a meeting.
We would have a quorum.
That's not a quorum.
We would invite Bayou Brandy, and it would be a quorum.
You can't have people who aren't on the board in board meetings.
Oh, that's funny. Well,
but Brandy,
she would be
for any other meeting,
your
you're welcome
advocate.
to attend.
She's been your advocate, I guess. So.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, hey, good to have you back. Interesting as always. We love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Continue to like and share us, and
we want to shout out our rescue. Ourrescue.org. If you want to get in the fight to end human trafficking, that's a good start.
Did you listen to the last week's episode when you were suspended?
I listened to both.
Bayou_Brandon is published in human sex trafficking.
Yeah,
she wrote a paper and it got published. Yeah, it's like she said, it happens everywhere.
Yeah,
not just big cities.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
See something, say something.
That's right. Focus on the 1, not the 50.
Right.
And until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Ago, and I'm back.
For real life, real crime daily. Peace.
Miranda Colligan.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.